fellow adventurers, this is Miss Willow, and welcome to another episode of Willow's Archipelago. I'm here exploring magic lands and raising mythical animals. Last time, I had found myself a home, nestled in the snowy, frigid winters of the mountains. As you can see, it was cozy, and guarded by yetis. As grumpy as they can be, I really liked it there. It was very nice, although there were lots of holes in the walls. But eventually, I had to leave, finding a Christmas dungeon to call my new sanctuary. Although this place was absolutely gorgeous and provided me with many tools and adventures that I could go on forth. Now, this Christmas village that I saw was even more cozy and warm. Bedazzled trees and presents lay inside. Sadly, my war with the elves was not in this footage. Although I rid the house of the creatures. Normally, I would have tried to befriend these creatures, yet they charged me first without having done anything. I simply approached the building, and out they came, ready to attack. This place was beautiful. The house was spangled like a candy cane and stood up tall on a little piece of snow, kind of like its own floating iceberg. It was gorgeous, so I called this place home for a little while. As you can see, it was beautiful. With a dragon egg in my care, I had to hatch it, my first companion in these lands. In order for me to make the incubator, I needed ice blocks, which would only be obtainable with the magical enchantment of Silk Touch. I had to get going to find myself the materials I needed, including obsidian for a fire incubator and more. Finding myself a mineshaft, I felt as though I was on the right path. This was very successful in little ways, yet it did not bring me the materials that I needed. My neighboring village was hiding a very peculiar home. So, as the adventurer that I am, I explored. The place was ridden in vines, like a witch sat within, waiting for a wanderer to eat up in a delicious stew. Yikes! On the inside, I did not find much, but it was a very intriguing experience discovering new places which caught my eye. It was a very intriguing home, and I even pondered whether or not I should make it my new house. There was a chest which did not really offer me anything, some beds which I had already created one, and sadly enough, a spawner, which I could not tell what it would spawn, so I left it there, just in case I might want that later on. It was time I quit procrastinating and get a move on with a diamond pickaxe. Finding a huge cave system, I eventually found my first diamonds! Yay! I was so excited! This was the first step to hatching my dragon babies. My gosh, the Pony Express put me on much more a treacherous quest than I would have imagined. Oh boy. I found some obsidian, first of all to make an enchantment table, which was my first step to finding myself a Silk Touch. I was really not interested in trying the slim chance of finding treasure and finding a book of Silk Touch. I wanted to just go the difficult route and just make it myself. So, I gathered up enough obsidian to make me a lot of different things. Not a bookshelf, enchantment table. My goodness, you can see the lava is getting to me. I had returned home to the Christmas dungeon and began to craft my fabled enchanting table. I had a ways to go before I was able to make Silk Touch, yet I was already a step closer, a huge step closer, and boy was I very excited. You see, the fire dragon incubator was easy enough to craft, yet the ice one was a quest of itself. You would not know how excited I was at the sight that I have finally made my fire incubator. Yet, sadly enough, water seems to be an infinite source, but I could not figure out how to make myself an infinite lava flow. I had a coral egg, but to my disappointment, it was not a fire type, so I sadly wasted my time making a fire incubator and instead actually needed the much tougher route of getting Silk Touch. Oh boy, I tried to get around it, you see. The next day, I finally laid eyes upon another dragon's nest. Oh, I was so excited, and I was so ecstatic to go and collect another egg, but the craziest thing happened. I almost got to the shoreline when all of a sudden, Mr. Shark himself decided to attack me in the water. Now, what are the chances? I had no clue what was biting me, but apparently it was a shark. My gosh, the waters are not even safe here. I found another intriguing time to go explore the sea, and found another very interesting dragon laying in the water. It must have been a water-type dragon that stays in the water, underwater. It was gorgeous. But then, all of a sudden, you would not believe it! The waters, as I said, were very dangerous. Something was shooting at me, a dragon was definitely not happy with my presence there, and as I swiftly boated away to safety, safety was not what I found. I found a strange object in the water, which ended up being... Can you guess it? It's not a shark, but it was definitely unpleasant. My goodness, as my search went on, I thought I was finally to safety, and then I saw it. There was a weird thing. Just wait a moment. To my surprise, I brought myself upon a very, very unfriendly block. After escaping the next threat of a jellyfish, I came across a gigantic pumpkin. I assumed a dragon egg would be in it, so I broke open the outer casing, which was made of wool, and surprisingly enough, it was stuffed with mobs. It was stuffed with skeletons, probably spiders, everything but what I wanted to see. So I entered, and I wanted to find out what was in there, and there was a dragon egg. It was really, really scary looking with a skull face and everything. Yeah, of course, I died by skeleton or some other insane creature. I could not get the dragon egg. The next day, I went exploring and boating again, and I found this very interesting dragon just floating in the middle of the sea. So I swam out to him, and I wanted to see who it was. I could not tell what species of dragon this was, but I have seen it before, and I think it is absolutely adorable. It did not seem interested in attacking me, so it seemed rather peaceful, so I went right up to it, and I wanted to get a closer look. It was gorgeous. It has this beautiful fluffy mane around his neck and a beautiful, adorable face. It's absolutely cute. And I wanted it as my pet so bad, but I had to keep going. I know that would be impossible. I didn't realize. That dragon that I swam past must have been an omen of good luck, because right behind him, I saw it again! There was that humongous pumpkin just sitting right out in the open daylight, ready for me to explore, possibly without as many monsters inside, and I was so ready to go in there and collect my next dragon egg. It was a beautiful pumpkin. That sunlight did not last long. Oh, the gods sprung upon me a crazy rainstorm, and I tried so hard to get inside the pumpkin to get out of the rain before anything spawned. But I sneakily crept in there, collected the egg. It was really creepy and had a skull face and looking like candy cane horns. I scouted around to see if there were any chests or other loot or even other dragon eggs that I missed. But there seems to be nothing really interesting other than cobwebs, which I did not have a sword to collect. So, I collected the egg and I was out of there. Whew, I beat the rainstorm almost. On my way home, exploring more lava buckets, getting lava buckets, I found another beautiful dragon flying around. It must have been a rainbow dragon, as it has rainbow features and a big horn on the top of its head. I believe I might have had an egg for one too, but this was a gorgeous, magnificent beast, and I was so lucky to lay eyes on it. Wow! What a beautiful specimen of a creature! Honestly, one of the beautiful dragons I think I have ever seen within the DragonFire mod. I I kept on exploring, trying to find loot which would help me hatch my first dragon when I came upon a pirate ship. Now, to my surprise, I did not know that there was pirates in the mod, and I was very shocked to find out that this was just a opportunity for me to loot some awesome chests, find out what's in there, and what in the world isn't there? A shark people? I did not expect to see shark people, shark captains, shark crew, and everything just sitting there on this boat. I thought it was empty and ready for me to loot, but no, I had a challenge ahead. These tattooed fish were absolutely mad at me. They were angry. I did not know who was hitting me or from where or how, but they must have some really long swords, and I died. Yeah, so I don't know whether or not I want to go back to the shark pirate. I needed leather, you see, so I went to the one place where I thought they might have cows, but to my surprise I could not defeat my worst enemy, the boar. Oh, he was ruthless. He was deadly. And he slayed me. Wait, no, he didn't slay me. For one of the first times ever, I slayed the boar. And boy, was I proud of myself. That boar had no chance against me. Not this time, no. Sadly, I was not able to find too much leather. See, I needed leather to make myself books. And in order to have books, I would need leather. And I needed those books to make myself bookshelves, because with my enchanting table, I must surround it with 9 bookshelves, I believe, would maybe help me get silk touch. So, I found a massive Christmas tree, hoping that it had bookshelves under it. I don't know why it would have bookshelves under it, but you know, my mind goes to really interesting places, like maybe bookshelves would go under a Christmas tree. But you know what? I don't even understand. I don't even understand myself anymore. So, I looked and nope, there were not any bookshelves under the Christmas tree. To my surprise. Instead, exploring the Christmas tree, I did find some very interesting items that might aid me in the near future. I ended up finding myself some little porcelain or clay pots which broke some treasure. I was happy. There were some cute light posts, there were some nutcrackers and teddy bears and all sorts of stuff that was useless to me, but it was cute nonetheless to look at. And, of course, the Yetis were mad at me as usual as I tried to get home. They're very stern, very grumpy, but I just have to ignore them and go on my way. If a hair on their furry Yeti bodies even touches me, I will lose half of my health. So I was shocked. I was very shocked. There was another dragon, too. I came across another dragon. He was nestled in the snow. Poor little thing. He found this to be his bed for the night, but it was a very peculiar-looking dragon. I don't quite understand, but somehow it hurt me. I don't understand. And I found out it was not the dragon. It was a very rude skeleton. Ugh. Penguins lived in my house, just living around, having a good time, vibing, eating little fish. They were cute, so I'd let them live. I'd let them survive there. They were pretty cute. They were harmless. They didn't bother me. I didn't bother them. They just sat there, eat their fish by the fireplace, and scurry around, watching me as I sort through my chests. Yeah, I loved the little guys. They were kind of cute. All of a sudden that night, it dawned on me. Of course, I did a very, very Miss Willowy thing. If you have watched my channel for long enough, you will know what that very Miss Willowy thing is. I found a nicer biome to call my home, so I uprooted all my stuff and went over to the peaks of the mountain, found a plateau, and started building my new house. I just felt like living in the snow would be difficult. To raise animals, to raise plants, have a garden, raise dragons, all sorts of things. It would just make it really hard. So I could live next to the snow where I can see it, still where pine trees and spruce trees live, lots of coniferous trees I really enjoy. That's my favorite forest. So I found the perfect place where I could have a garden and I could have all those majestic things. So I did it. I uprooted. I moved again. Yes, it happened. But this time, I was not procrastinating. I built my house, and I am still building it, but it is much, much nicer and more spacious for my things. I moved my little fire dragon incubator over to the fields. I started decorating the exterior of the house just a little bit. I like to work myself from the bottom up with these builds, not to confuse myself, just to keep things very, very simple. I placed some woodland logs on the outside to make this look like it was built up structurally sound and nice. I loved this theme. The aesthetic of this house was already so much better to me than a holiday theme, which I do like, but the holidays are sadly over, so I must make a forever home. If I can keep that promise, or not promise, if I can keep that, you guys should be very proud of me. Later that day, somebody wanted my company. I was growing a sugarcane farm to make lots of books with, when all of a sudden I saw this very blue figure in the background, so I got curious. I turned around, I looked at him. It was a dragon! Oh gosh, please don't. He's coming after me. I was terrified. Was he about to destroy my place? I was scared to the bone. He came right up to me, and I was hoping he wasn't trying to bite me. It was a shard. But why would he come up to me? This wasn't even my dragon. Did he just want to hang out with me? The poor little thing seemed lonely. I have never seen this dragon before, yet he just seems to want to chill with me and have a good time. He flew in some circles, showed off his moves, came right back to me, broke my garden a little bit, but that was fine. I could replant it. But wow, I was just flabbergasted that this beautiful dragon just decided voluntarily to just hang out with me. I tried moving, he followed me. This wasn't even a tameable dragon, that was even my own, so I was just a little bit weirded out, like, what are you doing? Why are you following me? Why is this dragon just hanging out on my turf? Why is he following me like a little puppy dog? What does he want? So I saw to see if I had any food in my inventory for him, but I did not. The poor little thing just ended up hanging out with me for days. He was gorgeous, though. I loved looking up close at these dragons. He just kind of sat there watching the sunset for a while. Keeps looking at me, and then he kept flying in circles again, and then flying right into me, trying to show off or something. After skipping the night, the next day I went back outside, and he was still there. To my surprise, he just hung out with me. I don't understand why or how, but he seemed to really appreciate my presence. So I took that as an opportunity to make a friend. I tried to right-click on him, but it kept telling me that I was not the owner of Shard. So, sadly, I couldn't do anything with this dragon. I could just pretend we were best friends in this beautiful forest, this field forest, whatever it is. And, you know what? He might just continue adventuring with me from now on. He's really cute. He's really cute. I like him. He's nice. So even if he can't be my pet dragon, he'll be my friend dragon. You know what? That is good enough for me. He just hung out with me. You see? He's an excellent flyer, too. Look, he's showing off. He's absolutely precious. Why is he hanging out with me? Now I went adventuring for helpful materials when I came across that beautiful dragon I found flying again. That rainbow dragon was just laying here, so happy, enjoying the sun, basking in the sunlight. And, oh my goodness, I was flabbergasted. This dragon was massive. This dragon must have been one of the biggest I have seen here in this world. And she was so precious. Apparently, as you can see in the corner, they're vegetarians and only eat golden apples and carrots. They are so picky. Wow. That must be a very, very, very amazing dragon. I finally found the clamshell again, and I have collected something from it, and I just kind of wanted to see what else was in it. I found some glowing mushrooms, and then I fell in a ravine. Of course, Miss Willow just falls in a ravine. How does that even happen? How do you just fall in a ravine? How do you do that? I don't understand why or how anyone could just end up falling in a ravine. Apparently me. I found dragon fossils. As you can see in my inventory, I got rib cages and spines and hands and skulls. I don't even understand what they do. They might have to do with some DNA thing I've heard about. But you know what? I'll hold on to them, just in case. Dragon fossils. Now I'm an archaeologist, it seems. Dragon archaeologist. That's cool. Remember that dragon nest I tried to get to, but a shark killed me? Well, I found it again. The mother dragon was coming, so I had to be really quickly. I ran up there, grabbed the coral egg, and got out of there as fast as I could. My game was getting really glitchy, so I had to give it a break. But the mother dragon seemed very, very, very mad. My adventures then led me to a blue forest with a circling dragon that looked absolutely epic hovering over it. I took a good look, and it was a gladius. He started to dive towards me, so I just ran. I didn't even take the time to look at him. I just ran through the geese, through the woods, trying not to let this dragon kill me. And then I found a beautiful, bedazzled, gorgeous lantern tree with a wonderful dragon nest in it. So I quietly came in, took the dragon egg without even looking back behind me. It lagged a little bit. I was a little scared, but then I got it. A gladius egg. I ran out of there as fast as I could. I was so excited about this dragon, and it was one of the ones that I'm actually super excited about, so I was, like, kind of dancing in cheer right now, just so happy, just frozen with joy. Okay, so apparently I can very obviously attract shards, because I was exploring this redwood forest, and a massive shard came charging after me yet again. It wasn't even the same one. And he came right up to me, just bombarding me with friendship and hugs, and I could not understand why this particular species of dragon gets along with me so well. Was he getting along with me, or was he actually trying to hurt me? I could not tell, so I just kept running to see if he would follow me. He was just so playful, I assumed. He was a very playful little dragon. I kept aimlessly exploring, knowing Miss Willow who I am. I aimlessly explore sometimes. And I found a beautiful cherry blossom-looking forest with birds and cardinals, it seemed. Beautiful, beautiful. I think there could be a special type of dragon in here, but I did not see any off the top of my head. So I kept going. Sand dunes were ahead of me. Just a little beach, but it was kind of cool. I looked out into the gladius's forest, and I realized that I was closer to home than I imagined. But then I saw it. There was another thing, a flaming thing in the corner. The birds were trying to stop me. They were trying to tell me this was not a good idea. But I saw some flames in the corner, and I had to get to them. Look at the flames. Something was either on fire, or it was an epic dragon nest that I had to explore. I ran up the side of the mountain frantically, trying to get away from any feral wolves that could have been there. This was just a forest on fire. Oh my goodness, I thought it was something cool. The poor forest burnt down, because the game decided to put a lava pool right in the middle of a forest, which, you know, that never ends well. That never ends well. I can just say that. It ends like this. It never ends well. The forest just burning. Poor forest. Oh, I hoped it rained. I had to do something very sad. See, I could not find any cows near my home, and I really needed to breed some to get leather for my bookshelves. So I had to go miles and miles away to find cows on this remote cliff, and I had to hunt many, many cows. I finally made enough books and made enough bookshelves, but I had to do very sad things. I had to do very sad things that day. Very, very sad. Very disappointed in myself. Well, everybody, at the end of this episode, I ended up having a bunch of bookshelves. I am much closer to taming and having my own little baby dragon friend, and I was not gonna give up easily. If you enjoyed this episode and want to see the next, do feel free to subscribe to my channel to support me in my projects and dream, as well as leave a like and to have fun. It's a nice gesture. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody, and be adventurous, be happy, but be safe.